Hello, me mateys. Vuvi Yaloovie here. So today is going to be Mega Eelektross Day. Now, this is, yes, it isn't just to be a little bit different, right? We're going to be running a physically oriented Eelektross for Wild Charge, Brick Break, and then Giga Drain just to hamper those Swampers who think they can get in on us with a Wave Crash, right? Ideally, for this team, we want Trick Room up. However, you can run Tailwind with Eelektross. It is fast enough at a base speed, well, especially Mega Eelektross. It is fast enough to start outspeeding most common threats like Charizard Y, base 130s if you run max speed, right? And then to round off the team, I've got Lucario. I'm going to run Lucario just to see if we can counter the Archelodons that have been giving me trouble lately. It's going to be very interesting to see because the main issue with Lucario is if they want to lead Swampert into it, right? And the idea behind Lucario as well, we're rocking Flash Cannon, Aura Sphere, and Psychic. Now, it's a designated Archelodon repellent, right? The special fighting moves get past stamina, and even if they build max special defense, right, it's still gonna hurt like a metric ton, right? Yeah, and then we've got like Flash Cannon to deal with those fairy types, so you know, the Mega Floettes, the Sylveons. The only issue with Special Lucario is that it kind of still is a 2-hit KO on those Sylveons, so we'll need to be a bit more careful with that going forward, right? And also rocking Psychic for Sneasler if we happen to be on the same field together. There's no real reason to run Psychic on Lucario apart from like the poison coverage. You already have Flash Cannon for Glimmora, and Psychic is probably more so beneficial if you fear like that you're going to come up against another fighting type that Lucario reasonably can't beat, right? The only thing that this loses to is in fact Pangoro and Scrafty, right? Now, those two, while being dark types, they are weak to Aura Sphere. Generally, both of them are slower than Lucario, especially just base Scrafty, right? We are running max speed, but only modest as our ability on, as our nature on Lucario. Got to keep that in mind with what we can potentially run across, and Corviknight might give us a few issues as well on the Lucario slot, should they decide to go for Body Press, right? We also have to be careful of other potential Body Press users like Garganacl and a few others, right? Surprise Body Presses. I don't think Phalanx ever runs Body Press, but it is definitely possible, right? And then for this video, I thought it'd be better off to rely on spread damage for Primarina, with Primarina and Armarouge. Now, Primarina, Armarouge, I figured it'd be better to go with the Mystic Water on Primarina, because we are going to be focusing fairy coverage with Alcremie. As you know, my favourite Pokemon of all time. So, Alluring Voice, Mystical Fire, and Decorate, a pretty standard move if you've been on this channel, moveset if you've been on the channel before. And then with Primarina, we're also rocking Psychic, just in case if we do come across certain poison type matchups. Probably not, again, like with Lucario, you can definitely get away with like Ice Beam or a different coverage move of your choice on Primarina. Even Calm Mind's perfectly fine too. I'm kind of just leaving it as it is, so so that's alright, me mateys. And then we have Armarouge. Now, Armarouge is kind of like a secondary Trick Room setter alongside Audino, because today, I think, because we've made a video, right, that tries to let us practice. Our previous Mega Audino video was that dual Mega with Mega Raichu, right? And of course, the one just after that was the Basque Legion F-Bit video, right? So I'm going to be trying to utilize both Mega Audino and Mega Eelektross. Because of this, me mateys, do be aware that I haven't recorded this yet, so we might not even see Mega Eelektross Mega Evolve, right? And even if even if we don't Mega Evolve the Eelektross, it's still very good under Trick Room, right? Because you have the speed to utilize Trick Room to a pretty good potential. You just have to worry about Mega Camerupt, which is what the Primarina is here for. Apart from Mega Camerupt, we have ways to deal with like Mega Crabominable too. Also just have to be careful of this fact that Snow does boost the physical defense of Mega Crabominable. And finally, me mateys, of course, we have the Audino. Now for Audino in this video, I haven't changed it since last time. I think we can get away with Dazzling Gleam in this case. We could also go for something like Hyper Voice 2, or even just a single target move like Draining Kiss. I wouldn't suggest Draining Kiss, but like, if you really wanted to, right? If you had access to Gravity, Mega Kick is not the best option, but like, it's fun for a meme build is all I'm trying to say. Oh dear me mateys. So for this video, I think, because the main thing against this team, right, we want extra fairy coverage, and just a little bit of extra chip damage onto both sides of the field is pretty nice. So we're gonna have to realize that our matchup into Charizard and Aerodactyl are going to be a lot worse with Dazzling Gleam. Something that Eelektross will have to cover for, but that should be okay, me mateys. Now, if you've been watching the past few videos as well, especially the Mega Audino ones, Mega Audino focused ones, you'll notice I've been trying to avoid Scizor in my teams. This is because Scizor, I mean, of course Scizzor's still a very great option. I wanted to try out different ways of enabling my team without utilizing priority. Now, I'm not discrediting priority, I'm not turning my back on it. I personally just do want to try and find an option that is more towards my favorites, so that I could utilize something like Scizor. So as you saw before with Abomasnow, with that really good Ice Shard into those Garchomps, right? Not quite as good as into Grimmsnarls as the Scizor, but you know, trying to find an option. Maybe we might have to come back to Scizor. I want to just find out if we can make it work without the Scizor. Okay, so that pretty much does it for the team. The main thing to note, Mega Swampert isn't exactly a be-all, end-all answer into Eelektross thanks to Elevate and Levitate. One thing also, maybe we have to consider the fact that we're running Brave, not going for Modest. So yeah, even a base Swampert can survive a Giga Drain. So very good, me mateys. We've got to keep that in mind when we're up against Swampert. Because we're running max HP on our Eelektross, we do also have to respect that their Wave Crash is potentially... it's only 92% on the maximum and 78% on the minimum. But Rain boosted, it will KO us no matter what, right? So we do have to be aware of the Mega Swampert matchup. Because Rain boosted Mega Swamperts are very deadly, and especially when they're next to Archaludons. So Archaludon Mega Swampert's going to be a very interesting core to see if we can face off against it. I suspect the line for the Mega Swampert will be to, let's just say Archaludon and Swampert are on the same field together, and I happen to have Eelektross and Lucario on the same field. I suspect they want to get rid of the Lucario first, so that Archaludon can still set up unimpeded, right? So the first turn you might see us going for a Giga Drain into the Swampert, but it doesn't KO, and then because they don't know we're running Giga Drain, they might click Earthquake to get rid of the Lucario. Now it's all dependent on if Lucario doesn't have Sash or not, or if my opponent knows that Lucario will have Sash. If they suspect that Lucario has Sash, then they're more likely to target into the Eelektross slot with a Wave Crash, right? So something we got to keep in mind. And me mateys, that will do for like the introductory part with the just the team introduction, I suppose you could say. So we're still in Ultra Ball 2. Not too bad. I guess it's been a little bit faster than last time. Oh dear me, mateys. Oh, very good. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with this. Perhaps you could switch out like Lucario for Scizor again and add Tailwind to the team. We're not running any speed on the Eelektross, so this should be okay. One thing we also got to note is that we're running Mega Audino too, so we have no Choppleberry anymore. And it looks like I won't even have to worry about setting up Trick Room because they are running their own Trick Room team. So the nice thing about this is that if they want to go for Explosion, Glalie, Protect Turn 1, or Telepathy on the Oranguru, most of my Pokemon don't really care about that. It will feel a little bit bad going into, say, something like Alcremie or Primarina, since I'm not running... I mean, I'm running a bit of defense, right? But it's not that much, all things considered. The main thing I want to do is prevent Moody from stacking up if they are Moody Glalie. And then the next thing, I think I can just get away with Mega Eelektross despite being slower. And then if they do decide to bring the Torkoal, Armarouge is a perfect option. And then against this team... Because I'm running Wild Charge, I kind of want Life Duty for my Pokemon here. The only answer into Lucario for them is Armarouge and their Torkoal, so I think it's a little bit better to run Primarina in this situation over the Audino, and unfortunately Alcremie too. Oh, it's so unfortunate, not running my favourite Pokemon. This has happened a lot during this season. I've got to find, like, a way to make them all work. Alright, so what have we got against us? So, Oranguru, Glalie. So, we definitely do not want this Glalie to stack up. They can completely go for Protect on the Glalie turn 1 for their Moody, right? That is okay. But I want to say to them, hey, you've got Glalie, I want to remove this as soon as possible, and I'm just going to go for a straight Aura Sphere to it. If they do something with, like, Oranguru, right, like, if they protect Trick Room, that's completely fine. I think just going for a Mega and then Wild Charging might be fine. You could also argue we could conserve Mega just so we don't lose out the speed tie, but like Speed War, but this should be fine. Oh, it's Mega Glalie too. Okay, so it's probably just Explosion, right? So what I could have done, I could have protected the Mega Eelektross this turn, but I didn't want to risk Moody stacking up. So Aura Sphere should be able to get the Glalie. Yeah, it's Explosion. Okay, never mind. Lucario will survive. I'm just worried about the Eelektross. Yeah, the Eelektross doesn't survive. That's unfortunate. Okay, so what I should have done, I should have really protected the Eelektross that turn, which is completely fine, me mateys. Moody stacking up is a little bit more threatening to me than getting hit by Explosion, because now what they've done, if they go for Trick Room, which looks like what they're doing here, I can just go into... I'm probably guessing they want their Torkoal on the field. I can go Armarouge, or I could definitely just go Primarina here. I think the option is to go with the Primarina and then lose the Lucario so I can get in Armarouge. There's not really... I mean, they could have Sylveon too, but yeah, it is Torkoal. And what I could do, I could save Lucario for later since I know they're going for Eruption, right? Even though it is Drought Torkoal, I could do two things here. I can stall out Trick Room and then switch out into Armarouge the next turn. That's completely fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Perhaps you might want to switch out your Oranguru into Sylveon. So in anticipation for that, I have to speed up my switching process a little bit sooner than I'd like, just in case if they do have Sylveon, right? Because Sylveon setting up against me is not going to feel fun. So I'm just going to stall out a turn of Trick Room by protecting the Primarina. This allows me to see if they're running Solar Beam on their Torkoal, and if they are, I can switch into the Lucario to take that damage to further stall out Trick Room. So very good. Now that we have Armarouge on the field, it's pretty safe for us to pretty much go for a Heat Wave. I think we still need to sacrifice the Lucario. There is the threat of Sylveon, but I do believe our damage output can deal with the Sylveon just with Heat Wave alone. Because it's now Flash Fire boosted and Sun boosted, so Heat Wave is going to hurt a lot. And I'll just show you it here. And I'm going to switch in to the Lucario just in case if they do decide to go for Solar Beam, right? Now, I'm sacrificing the Lucario and I'm acknowledging that, yes, I might just sacrifice all my power against the whatchamacallit, the Sylveon, oh no. Yep, so very good damage overall. They didn't go for an Instruct, which means they missed out on the KO on the Armarouge, which is really nice for me. Yeah, so here comes their Armarouge. What I might want to do, I might want to protect this turn, and then I'll just stall out their Trick Room with another Protect on Lucario. So anti-Trick Room's a little bit weird for a Trick Room team like my own. I think in this situation, definitely could have gone for Mega Audino, or protect the Eelektross, right? So we do have to be careful that next turn... Yeah, so they did show the Solar Beam, so that's very good. Okay. And Expanding Force, so someone has Psychic Terrain on their side. Interesting. It's probably the Armarouge, actually. So this is very problematic for me, since I've now used up my Protects on last turn of Trick Room, right? I think they're going to go for an Earth Power into the Armarouge slot. I don't think I'm expecting a Solar Beam into that slot, so I'm going to let the Lucario go down. Hope for a double Protect, but if I don't get it, that's completely fine too. We do lose Flash Fire, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Oh, we get the double. Oh, we get the double, so that's very good. Okay, so do they click Solar Beam into the Armarouge slot? Oh, very good. Okay, and they click Expanding Force onto the Armarouge slot. So very good. A decent amount of damage, but we do have to respect that their Armarouge is actually faster than us, because we're running min speed on our Primarina, which is really weird, but it kind of is how it is, right? So I'm just going to run Aura Sphere into this Armarouge. Hyper Voice should be able to do a lot of damage, but Mystic Water Under Sun might feel a little bit more worse for wear, but Hyper Voice and Aura Sphere into this Armarouge should be okay. So Torkoal protects, as you would expect. They're going for another Trick Room, but that is okay, me mateys. So it's basically a Hyper Voice. I don't think it will KO Under the Sun, but even if it doesn't, we still have our options. Oh, never mind, it's Pasho Berry. So very good. They run the Water Berry. I don't think that's the end of the world. Because now what we can do, we can actually just protect the Primarina let the Lucario go down or switch into Armor Rouge, right? I don't think we I don't think we go for oh no, Sun ran out. Oh, because Sun ran out, I think it's actually safer to go for Hyper Voice now. Yeah, they're not Heat Rock, so Hyper Voice is actually better. I'll let Lucario go down here, and we'll force the Aura Sphere into this, I guess Armor Rouge. No, I want the Torkoal to go down since it has Earth Power. Yeah, so Earth Power into the Prim, not gonna do much. Is the Armor Rouge slower? No, so very good, that is just the double KO. Yeah, so I think what my opponent would try, like, stalling out Trick Room was the main priority, right? What I didn't realize until the end there, I was expecting that Torkoal to have Heat Rock, so that they could extend their Sun turns, because if their Sun was still up, they could go for a Solar Beam into the Primarina, right? And that would just faint the Primarina, and I need to rely on Armor Rouge to get the KO on their Armor Rouge and the Torkoal too. Now that was still possible considering they gave me Flash Fire boost, but I switched out, and once you switch out, you lose your Flash Fire boost, I believe, right? Yeah, so when you're a Trick Room team that utilizes Pokemon with middling speed stats, I mean average speed stats, right? It's always important to know, like, how adept are you to try and countering their Trick Room strategies. Unfortunately, it seems like my opponent decided to go with a Mega Eelektross Explosion, which is still a really good strategy. The only thing is that if you come up across a Focus Sash Pokemon, it can feel really worse for wear if that Focus Sash Pokemon allows their team to do what they need to do in order to stall out Trick Room. Because I had that extra switch-in option with Lucario, I could still go for those Protects, I could still go for Primarina, I could still switch out the Primarina and not risk a Solar Beam going into it. That's kind of what I had in mind. I had an idea that they were, like, if they were Telepathy Explosion, Lucario would still survive anyway and get off the damage into the Oranguru if we needed it. It was very unfortunate that Mega Eelektross went down, but, like, sometimes letting Moody stack up is just not worth it. The threat of Explosion might seem more threatening at first, but if they get, like, a really good roll on Moody, I guess it's more like, what's worse in the given moment? I think the Moody's a little bit worse, but yes, Refrigerate Explosion is a little bit more threatening turn 1. Turn 2, you can sort of deal with Moody, I suppose, so maybe it was better to protect the Eelektross on that turn. Okay, very good. So, Torkoal Vileplume, a very good replacement for LilliKoal, right? Lilligant and Torkoal, with a chance for Mega Starmie. Now, because they are running Drought, I don't think they're going to be relying on huge power liquidations to get the damage off, unless if they want to lead off the Starmie. Against my team, you still want the Garchomp, even though we are weak to... even though we have Elevate. This is because Garchomp already resists Eelektross by a really good margin, right? So in my case, I'm going to lead Eelektross Audino so I can get up Trick Room. And against this team, I think it might be a bit more worth it to have Lucario and Alcremie. Either Lucario Alcremie or Lucario Armor Rouge. Because if it is Torkoal Vileplume, Vileplume's going to be very problematic into our team for that Sleep Powder, right? Sleep Powder can be quite problematic. We've also seen, like, it do well in tournaments too. My opponent doesn't seem to have a win streak. Maybe they just fresh off the bat, right? So it is Vileplume Torkoal. We do need to be careful of Sleep Powders. But Torkoal should not be clicking Eruption unless if they want After You, right? So I'm going to protect the Eelektross in this situation. I'm just going to do a straight double protect. I think I need to know what this Vileplume wants to do turn 1. Usually when you come across something, even though you know like the team, right? I think it's always good to see where their enemy team is going with their aggressive core. It doesn't look like they can set up Nasty Plot on us, so this should be okay, and we stall out a turn of their Sun, so this is completely fine. Maybe it is a bit too passive, but I want to confirm if they're prioritizing Sleep Powders or if they're prioritizing After You. I don't think Vileplume gets After You, but the Sleep Powder potential is what I'm going for here. Yep, so it's After You, Eruption. So now I can probably bring in the Armarouge on the Eelektross slot. So it's because it is After You Eruption, I think it's probably just worth it to go for I do want to Mega the Audino in this situation, but I think I'll just Life Dew. Yeah. Maybe what I could have done that turn is Trick Room, because After You will still go will still go off in this turn, right? And then next turn they can just Earth Power the Armarouge. Okay, so Audino takes about 60%, so we won't live after another Eruption. Okay. So I think what I do, I just go for a Heat Wave. They have to Earth Power us, but as we know from last match, Earth Power does not get the Armarouge. Unless if it's Helping Hand boosted, right? But they're not in Trick Room, so we don't have to worry about Helping Hand. We just have to worry about a potential Sleep Powder. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to Heat Wave. If we fall for the Sleep Powder, that's very unfortunate. So I'm going to actually protect this turn and go for a Trick Room. I know this is very weird, but like, if they decide to Sleep Powder us this turn, that's very good. Oh yeah, they've Sludge Bombed the slot. Okay. This is very reliant on Audino surviving, but... Oh, we survived! Oh, that's so good. So now we can safely go for a Heat Wave, right? Even though the Vileplume is the Vileplume is the only one we wanted to speed control for, right? So even though they're going to click Eruption again, that doesn't matter. We have Flash Fire boost, and we also have Protect on the Audino, right? So I think this is okay. The Torkoal needs to use Earth Power to get the Armarouge. A Helping Hand Earth Power is what will get the Armarouge in this situation. So, very good. My opponent chooses to go for Heat Wave, so we're not too bad for this. And Heat Wave is just going to do a ton of damage. Yep. And it's Focus Sash, Vileplume. Let's see if they go for Sleep Powder, or if they continue going for Sludge Bombs. Yeah, it is Sleep Powder. So, you can see why I wanted Trick Room up first. It was a really big risk that they didn't just sleep the Audino, right? I think what I do here... because I've already used up a turn, and I haven't used up any turns of sleep, so I'm going to protect the Armarouge, because it's only first turn of sleep. And then I think... I still want to keep Lucario around, but I might just lose the Audino in this situation. So I'm going to prioritize the Mega Eelektross now. If we can get off a Life Dew, that's great. If we can't, no problemo. And they show me Garchomp. Okay. So perhaps Mega Audino would have been really nice here. but that's okay. Because they showed me Garchomp, ooh. Yeah, Alcremie would have been really nice here too. Okay, still doable. Sun goes down. I need to confirm if they are running King Gambit or Sylveon. So I don't want to show Lucario just yet. I'm probably putting a little bit too much emphasis on Lucario, but I do want it to stick around, right? Let's see. Let's go for Protect on the Armarouge. I don't want to take any Earthquake damage on this turn. Unfortunately, I will have to take it if that does come to be. And I think just going for... oh dear. Yeah, Garchomp's the biggest problem. Let's see... Okay, if I can, I'll try and Psychic it. And then Mega Evolve Wild Charge the Torkoal for a boost. Hoping that we can get the Elevate boost, right? So we should be able to power up our Brick Breaks. But yeah, it appears that they're going with Protect. So the question is, do we wake up on the Armarouge to get up? Yep, very good Armarouge. So we do get off an attack, so that should be just enough for Lucario to finish the job on. Will be enough once we get... Oh, were they not Life Orb or did we survive? Oh, we survived like a champ. Oh, Armarouge, very good. Okay, so we can run that turn back, right? They're probably going to protect their Garchomp this turn, since we did half, right? And it's last turn of Trick Room 2. Their switch-in option is pretty much this Vileplume or a potential Sylveon. Considering they haven't showed me their Mega yet, I'm pretty much sure it's Starmie. So I'm going to do something very weird. I'm actually not going to let them... I'm going to go for this Garchomp. They don't go for Protect on Torkoal. Oh, never mind. Yeah, no Protect on Torkoal. Okay, yep, that's alright. So we'll just take the damage on Eelektross, unfortunately. Do we get burned? No burn, so that's okay. So this is what I wanted. I didn't want their Starmie out at the same time as their Garchomp, because now they kind of have to click Protect Earthquake again, and this leaves their Garchomp liable to a KO from my Eelektross if Brick Break does enough damage. So I'm going to try for a double Protect on Armarouge, just in case if we can survive on the Armarouge slot. It would be very helpful for making sure that they click Aqua Jet onto our Armarouge, so they have to respect Trick Room again, but yeah. Yep, so no Protect on the Armarouge, that's fine. So they go for Rock Slide this time. Armarouge avoids! Oh no! Okay. Now, the only issue is that we probably just avoid, we're probably in range for Aqua Jet from the... Yeah, we're definitely in Aqua Jet range from the Starmie, so now we have to be careful about that. And Heat Wave might just get us to... Oh, not quite. Okay. So the good news is that the Starmie can only Aqua Jet one target. And because we're Flash Fire boosted on the... Oh no, they go back to Vileplume. Okay. I think we can just go for... Oh, it's so tempting going for a Trick Room here. But I think going for Heat Wave is just better. If you're max speed Vileplume, this doesn't work out for me. I want to preserve the Vileplume. I want to preserve the Eelektross and not KO it for next turn. So this should be okay. Brick Break into the Vileplume slot. Oh, Vileplume. Yep, Vileplume's faster. Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, so it was max speed at... Max speed and chlorophyll. So that's probably my bad. I should have expected as much, right? And Heat Wave connects too. Okay. This is a problem. This is definitely a problem. I should have prioritized the Torkoal, because now it's Lucario versus Torkoal and the Starmie. Yeah, so if I targeted the Torkoal there, that would have been just so much better on our slot. Very unfortunate, so I do think we'll lose from that. But, you know, I'm going to let my opponent KO me here. I want to get rid of this Torkoal first, but it's more than likely they're going to KO me with close combat or something, a fighting move, right? So good on my opponents here. I did misplay that last turn, not going for the Torkoal, because now in this situation, what I could have done, if I preserved the Armarouge a little bit better, I'd have to force them to Aqua Jet the Armarouge so that I could get the Starmie in this situation. They'd probably focus down the Eelektross if Eelektross survived, but yeah. That's okay, me mateys. Sometimes a lapse in judgment can lose you the game, but, you know, that's kind of what Pokemon's all about, right? Not in the sense that, you know, you're gonna have a lapse in judgment, but, like, there are certain things that you can only see after you do the move, right? Or if you've been playing, like, on and off, sometimes it might not even come across until, like, you've had, like, 100 games of that same turn or so, or even just similar situations. So very unfortunate for me, but good on my opponent for sticking it through and doing really good plays overall. I think it was just up to me to try and respect the Torkoal a little bit more, but I think getting in the Starmie was their win condition under the right battlefield, and it was up to me to try and mitigate how much the Starmie could do up against us, and they really preserved their Starmie really well, in my opinion. Okay, Mega Delphox with Gholdengo. A lot of this team doesn't like the fact that we have Armarouge. The Accelerock from... Oh, does Dusk form Lycanroc it? Accelerock? It should, right? Dusk form Accelerock, or at least Accelerock from the Lycanroc, will be the most troubling thing against my team. So I think what I want to do, I want to lead for the Delphox. They're probably going to lead Delphox Gholdengo or Delphox Hydreigon for Tailwind, or if they feel like they don't need Tailwind, Delphox Sneasler is also a very good option. So this might be a game where I need regular Eelektross. Yeah, we might not see the Mega Eelektross in this situation, but that's kind of how we're going. So Primarina is pretty good. It's more than likely going to be Sneasler first up. So prioritizing Audino's survival is really good here. The only issue is if they want to go for if they would like to go for Sneasler with the Fake Out or Sneasler Gholdengo. I think Sneasler Gholdengo is a really good choice against my team. So let's see what they choose, because if they suspect Trick Room, then it's definitely Sneasler Gholdengo. Delphox Gholdengo, okay. So good for me that I do not have access to, they do not have access to Fake Out this turn. So there's actually nothing stopping me from clicking Hyper Voice on these two. The only issue is if we get doubled up into a Make It Rain Life Orb Make It Rain and a Psyshock into the Primarina will just get us. So the safest thing to do for me is probably just Trick Room. We could switch out into Armourouge, but I suspect I just want to get rid of the Delphox. Now the only question is, are they feeling gutsy? Will they click Nasty Plot? I don't think so, since we are a Trick Room team. They probably don't want to click Nasty Plot and then just get threatened next turn, right? So I'm going to protect just in case if they do decide to double up into the Primarina. Another problem with this is if they do have Sunny Day on the Delphox or the Gholdengo, both of them can learn it. So that will reduce the power of Hyper Voice by a lot. So they do decide to go for the Primarina and then make it rain. So very good. We didn't need to Mega the Audino for this turn. We do take a lot of damage. That's not actually that much. Wow. Okay, so very good. Now the issue for them, now they need to switch out the Gholdengo or start nasty plotting. This is a really bad position for their Delphox. So we can definitely prompt a defensive play from their Delphox. I'm going to bring in the Eelektross now so that we can feasibly cover for most of their options, bar the Sneasler. But we do have Psychic for the Sneasler if we need it. Even though Hyper Voice will just do a lot of damage anyway because we're running Mystic Water. So this should be okay. You don't have Wide Guard on either of these two Pokemon, so this should be not too bad, right? You protect the Delphox, you're probably just gonna Nasty Plot on the Gholdengo. Yeah, but since you saw that we did over half, and know that we're running either Mystic Water or Wise Glasses, right? More than likely Mystic Water, since you saw that we did over 55%. So I'm going to Mega Evolve. Unless if they bring in Hydreigon, this is always a good play into... A Wild Charge into the Delphox is always a good play. I could go for the Gholdengo too, but I suspect they're going to do a double switch or double protect here. So I'll go for this, and then another Hyper Voice is just fine. I'm going to just take a moment to see what they have in the back. Maybe the Farigiraf comes in too if they want to reverse Trick Room, but yeah, it's a really bad position from my opponent at the moment. So no switch outs, so that means they're probably hoping for a Shadow Ball. Yep, so Delphox will just go down to Wild Charge if we if we can land it. Wild Charge is 100% accurate, so that's okay. And because the Delphox did survive the Hyper Voice, that means Eelektross gets a free boost of Elevate while not taking any recoil. So that's very good for Eelektross. And we now have a way to deal with the Hydreigon should the Primarina go down for whatever reason. We do have Brick Break on our Eelektross. Brick Break is more so for those Grimmsnarls. I know I'm saying this 46 minutes into the video, but into the recording, but like, yeah. Brick Break's for the Grimmsnarls. Psychic Fangs is stronger, but we can hit Grimmsnarls. Ghost coverage isn't really necessary at the moment. Because, like, you have... Because if you run Psychic Fangs, right, Sableye doesn't care about Psychic Fangs, nor does it care about Brick Break. Gengar's probably the only reason why you'd run Psychic Fangs over Brick Break with Eelektross, especially for a physical-oriented Eelektross. Maybe if you're running Special Eelektross, you just don't run the Brick Break at all. You rely on a different Pokemon to do that for you. Now, that said, my opponent is taking a little bit of time to do this, but I still would like to talk a little bit more, so I won't cut through this. One of the things with Mega Eelektross... I'm going to just make sure it's not my internet again. Okay, it's not my internet. Very good. Yeah, one of the things with Mega Eelektross... the Elevate ability being a pseudo beast boost is very good for both Trick Room and Tailwind hyper aggressive teams. Eelektross usually going second on either of the two is usually a really good sign. So if you don't KO your opponent with a certain move, right, with your partner, then Eelektross can come in and then just proceed to sweep with the boost that it gets from Elevate. Elevate not proccing does feel a little bit worse for wear sometimes, but I think it's usually okay, right? Physical Eelektross is strong enough to do the damage that you want. So in this situation, Hydreigon and Sneasler are both likely to protect, but I want to show them that we have Psychic for the Sneasler, so I don't necessarily need to target the Hydreigon with the Primarina slot. The only way that they can get past this is be Focus Sash Sneasler and then double up into the Primarina with Flash Cannon and a Dire Claw. So Primarina might go down because of that, however, I'm completely fine with that. I think the rest of my team should be able to handle this core, but yeah. So is it Focus Sash? No Focus Sash Sneasler, very good. Psychic coverage is just so good for Sneasler. I know it's kind of like, we don't like Sneasler, right? But, hey, I don't like Sneasler. Oh dear. So Dark Pulse onto the Eelektross, yep, very good, and because last turn of Trick Room, they should protect just to give themselves a little bit of an extra boost, but I can totally understand if they would forfeit in this situation. As I'll keep on saying it, me mateys, it's always good to stick around to the end of the match, especially if you're like an Ultra Ball, your opponent could make a mistake that you can capitalize on. As long as you yourself are playing consistently, you can usually make good plays when you see them, or this would have worked out if X happened. There's something to be said like when to understand how to make a right play or how to make a standard play. And in my opinion, I think it's always good to start off the standard plays, and then once things start deviating, right, then you can go for those more read plays. So what do I mean by that? I mean, let's say you're running Charizard Y Whimsicott, like your standard Charizard Y team. Charizard Y just wants to click Heat Wave or Weather Ball, depending on how you're feeling, right? If you need to get rid of a certain target, you just click Weather Ball onto your designated target, like Archelodon who's not in rain, or something like that. If you really need to get rid of a target, you know what I mean. So, the main thing... Oh, let me just get out of this. So, a standard play from typical Charizard Ys can involve going for Tailwind to outspeed other Charizards and then just clicking Heat Wave just to get the damage off right. Now I'm going to switch to a more personal example with my Mega Audino team. So, with a meta team, that's what you can expect. Now, with my team in particular, my bread and butter is usually setting up Trick Room with a Trick Room setter, so Armarouge or Audino, and then ideally, you'd want to have a second slot that can mitigate the damage onto the Audino slot, because in higher levels, what you'll start seeing is people going hard aggressive on the Audino slot or on your Trick Room slot so they can potentially KO it. So this means a redirection or a fake out user is really nice for a Trick Room setup. However, at the moment, my bread and butter for Trick Room is that Audino with Trick Room, and then if I can get the offense off, and if it's really viable to do, like we saw in that last match, just going for... Actually, no, wait, never mind. Let me get my thoughts in order. Oh no. Yeah, so... Or... If we can spot the offensive option into our team and won't be punished too severely for it, we can go for the offensive option on our Trick Room partner, right? So, for example, Primarina, going for a really strong Hyper Voice if we do not think that we'll faint on that turn. If we do think that we will faint, it's probably just a bit better to go into Protect on the Primarina and make sure you don't take any random damage from something, right? So you don't take any damage from Make It Rain, no Heat Wave, no nothing, right? Or surprise solar beams in suns, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I just think playing standard is a very nice way to learn. Play your bread and butters. Sure, you might get like gamed, right? So you're trying to learn Mega Audino, but you constantly run into like Sneaslers who are always fake outing the Audino and Diaclawing when you Mega Evolve, right? That's kind of to be expected as the game goes on, because more people know about like Audino. Most people know what Charizard Y is going to do, and most people can understand that well, maybe if we see a Garchomp now, it's definitely going to be either Life Orb or, for whatever reason, Mega Garchomp or Choice Scarf Chomp. Sometimes we can see the Focus Sash Garchomp if they don't like ice moves. Like Mega Frostlass, for example, but yeah. So the advice basically is, when you start off with like a particular Pokemon, go for a standard sort of play style, like call it your bread and butter. Try and activate your speed control if you can, or if it's applicable. If you don't know the speed control, that's perfectly fine too. What I can suggest, if you don't know your speed control and are not willing to look it up, right, just go in without like any speed control. Play screens. Play for screens, and then the screens should help you like at least mitigate some of the damage that you're taking for not being under some sort of speed control. So my advice is like pick Grimmsnarl or pick Meowstic, depending on who you like better, or any sort of prankster screens user. You could even go for a fast screen user like Dragapult. That's also completely fine, because you can't get like done in by prankster shenanigans. I mean, you can get done in by prankster shenanigans on Dragapult, but yeah, that's kind of the idea. Fast screens users should be able to cover for the fact that you're not running any speed control, but do be aware, in the higher ranks, it might not work out as much. Okay, so, me mateys, that will be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. I'm Vuvi Yaloovie, and I will see you in the next one. Ta and ta-ta.